Brooke Greenberg is unique.
People do ask, how old's your child?
I'll just say 16. Let them think it's months.
She has not aged in 15 years.
I remember thinking it was a little weird. She was older than me, but not growing.
It says newborn 3 to 6 months.
The doctors told us we don't know what her syndrome is.
Despite what appeared to be adequate nutrition, she just wasn't growing.
Never weighing more than 17 pounds, Brooke has faced extreme medical problems.
The doctors just wanted to give up on her.
We thought we were going to bury our child.
But scientists believe Brooke's genes could hold the key to extending life.
When we identify the genes that are damaged in her body, we could theoretically create immortal beings.
She's here for a reason. She's a miracle child.
Yeah.
Her life expectancy theoretically went from the first 5 years to who knows.
This is the extraordinary story of Brooke Greenberg, a child frozen in time. Suburban Baltimore, home to the Greenberg family.
This is my room. This is where I go every day, and after school I do my homework at my desk, and I have a lot of art because I enjoy doing art. This is Emily, she's the oldest, she's 22. This is Caitlin, she's the second oldest, 18 years old. And this is Brooke, she's 16, the third oldest. And I'm Carly, I'm 13, and I'm the baby of the family.
The baby of the family gets herself ready for school, but it's her older sister, Brooke, who still needs help.
Gonna go to school today? Yeah. Gonna have fun with all your friends? Yeah.
Brooke is 16 years old.
As soon as she sees the school bus, she lights up because she knows that's definitely where she's going. Okay, let's go. Yeah.
Brooke is Howard and Melanie's third child. The couple had 2 daughters, Emily and Caitlin, before Melanie became pregnant with Brooke in 1993.
This pregnancy was a little different. Every time I would go to the doctor for my monthly checkup, they would say, well, we're not quite sure about your growth. 1 week check and see next month what happens. So next month I would come and I would be fine.
Because of intermittent growth, doctors decided to deliver Brooke 4 weeks early by cesarean section.
2004. There she is. We're having our third child.
We knew that it was going to be a C-section, so it was just get there, let's check in, get comfortable. We were going to have a baby.
Well, it's 10 after 5. Next time you see her, there'll be a baby. Baby okay? She's just a little small baby.
We were told that there were some complications, and we visited, put our gowns on, and did what we had to do as a family for support.
Brooke was to be in the natal intensive care unit for 5 weeks. As well as her low birth weight of only 4 pounds, there were other issues that concerned doctors.
As we examined her more and more, even over the first 12, 24, 48 hours, realized there were some other unique features to her. Her hips were dislocated, and from the orthopedic standpoint, they were dislocated in a most unusual manner.
Look at that leg just out there. But the leg's working and everything. Look at that.
It was very clear to see that one of the legs was sort of flipping up in the back of her head because it was trying to go back into its normal position. It was a rare thing. They could fix it. It was no big deal.
After 5 weeks in hospital and an operation on Brooke's hips, she was finally allowed home to begin life with her 2 older sisters, who have played an important role in her life. Having brought up 2 older daughters, the Greenbergs were well aware of Brooke's lack of development.
She did certain things. Of course, she slept through the night. She was eating. But sitting up at 4 months. She wasn't doing that. She wasn't doing any of that stuff because she was so little.
It was like 6 to 9 months we realized she's really not developing as fast. She'd be in the 2 percentile or 3 percentile. As long as it was part of a percentile, we were happy, and everything that they kept explaining to us was that she would catch up.
At the time, she was like one of a kind, very small, very fragile. I said, we'll get her straightened out.
Diagnosing Brooke was not going to be easy. Doctors tried steroids to stimulate her growth.
I gave her a shot every night for like 6, 7, or 8 weeks, I think it was. I've been giving her the shot, and the doctor said, "What happened? How come you didn't give her the shot?" And I said, "I gave her the shot every day." I really think at that point is when we started not getting answers.
Doctors knew that her eyes and ears suggested a congenital disorder, but tests came back negative. Her lack of growth was also a mystery.
Despite what appeared to be adequate nutrition, and had every reason to believe that she was taking in adequate calories and fluid volume, she just wasn't growing. In medicine, you'd like to be able to label something. The thing about Brooke is she doesn't fit anybody else. It's frustrating, but we don't always have the answers.
With doctors unable to explain Brooke's lack of growth, they labelled her as having Syndrome X, an unknown condition.
I didn't want to have a diagnosis because I didn't want to know what the future held. We just took each day as it is.
Taking each day as it came was important to ensuring Emily and Caitlin had a normal life with their younger sister.
We would always play and dance with her. We had like this little box, like this little cardboard box, and we would put like pillows in there and put her in there and just stroll around the house with her.
She used to love to just like run with us holding her back, and probably not so safe, but like just up and back.
Although Howard and Melanie were trying to make life normal for their 3 daughters, the lack of answers about Brooke's condition weighed heavily on them.
The parents obviously were frustrated and very concerned, as were all the physicians who were involved.
Our life was just going from one doctor to another doctor, getting no answers, nothing dramatic until she was up until 3 years old. And then when she hit 3, then our life came to a crashing halt.
That's when she started to get really sick.
She has a history of pulmonary problems that are quite significant.
She was getting pneumonia an abnormal amount of time.
Wheezing like someone who has asthma and great difficulty in breathing.
They inserted a peg into her stomach.
She has a history of seizures.
It was told to us that Brooke had a stroke.
It looked like these illnesses would be so devastating that nobody could have gotten through this. And yet she did.
Bringing up a disabled child was difficult, but in 1996, when Melanie became pregnant again, there were fears that the Greenbergs' 4th child would also suffer from Syndrome X. News of her pregnancy had a mixed reaction.
When Melanie told me she was pregnant, I was really upset because I thought something would happen to her that happened to Brooke, and we certainly didn't want that.
The doctors consulted us that the chances of us having another child like Brooke were extremely rare. But driving to the hospital, wondering, are we going to have 2 children that are not normal?
On the 12th of December 1996, Carly Greenberg was born.
Carly was born at 5-6 pounds.
Carly was a much larger child. It seemed more normal. Everything was, okay, thank you, see you later, go home.
She was free from Syndrome X.
They were both in the same room. They both had cribs, both kind of on the same schedule.
Mm-hmm. And then Carly very quickly surpassed Brooke.
Howard has kept a detailed photo album of his family's life. It's through his photos that Brooke's lack of growth or aging is clear.
This picture is interesting because this is where they both were babies. Carly was starting to surpass Brooke. Brooke is 4 years old in this picture, and Carly is 2 years old in this picture. You could see the succession of Carly aging in most of my pictures, and that's the only way you can really tell, to be honest. If something else is in the picture that actually ages, such as our children, very distinct. In our old kitchen, we had a white refrigerator door, and I had 9 pictures of Brooke on the refrigerator and a $100 bill. Anybody that came over who wanted to take a stab at it could try to put the pictures in order, and they'd get the 100. Well, we redid our kitchen not too long ago, and the 9 pictures and the $100 bill was still up there. Nobody ever came close.
I don't really remember like what age I was, but I remember just thinking that it was a little weird that she was older than me, but not growing. My parents explained it to me. She can't grow. She is like one of the only people in the world, and how she's so special.
Carly is close to her older sister and has devised ways to keep her entertained.
Honestly, I do not know why she likes this. It somewhat makes her giggles.
From 1 to 4, Brooke changed. She got a little bit bigger, but at 4 to 5, she stopped. We still thought that there would be hope.
I would think as a parent, you probably never completely give up the idea that maybe it'll happen either spontaneously or because genetically you might be able to do something. It slowly became more evident to everybody that she really wasn't going to do much growing.
Doctors finally told the Greenbergs that they'd exhausted all avenues and there was nothing they could do for Brooke. She would remain the size of a 7-month-old baby and never develop.
It changed us. I mean, we now have the situation we're going to live with a handicapped child. We had no idea how severe her handicaps were. I mean, she's a loving, loving child. There's just no two ways about that. Is she going to drive a car and play on the lacrosse team or the hockey team? No. That also is very hard for us to deal with.
Facing a future with a disabled child is challenging, and parents face difficult choices.
They would never put Brooke away. I think my children are exceptional, and they just wouldn't do that. If she was in an institution, I'm convinced she would not be alive today because she wouldn't get the love or she wouldn't get the care like my children do.
She's always had her sisters and her parents to help her out. She relies on us for her daily needs and her care as her advocates. And putting her away, that would just do it for her. She thrives on the love that we give her. I know that you girls can intertwine with your books. You can mix and match.
No, they can't. No. They have to use their own books.
The Greenbergs accepted that Brooke would never grow, would never be like her sisters or like any other child. It was her uniqueness that fascinated Dr. Richard Walker, a retired professor at the University of South Florida and the director of the Society for Applied Research in Aging.
There's nothing that I've ever seen in my life like Brooke. When I saw her, I saw someone who had suffered a mutation in the developmental program. It sort of hit me like a thunderbolt. This is an individual who has a marker for the developmental gene.
Dr. Walker has spent his career looking for the gene that controls aging. Dr. Maxine Sutcliffe at Florida's All Children's Hospital worked with Dr. Walker and undertook the tests on Brooke's DNA, looking for abnormalities, in order to identify her anti-aging gene.
So this scan represents her entire genome.
Yes, this is the main line here, and what we would expect if there was an abnormality, there would be several of these little clones, little dots, above that line, and if there was loss of material, there would be several of them below that line.
So there hasn't been anything different here in the array from what we've seen before.
If I were to take any 16-year-old little girl's DNA, this is the profile that I would get. This is what I would expect to see because it's normal.
It's quite interesting when you have a person who you're evaluating, who you're examining, who's clearly not normal, but the more you study her, the more you evaluate her genome, the more the answer keeps coming back, she's normal.
With the surprising result that Brooke's DNA suggested she was normal, Dr. Walker realized there would be a need for more in-depth research.
We're going to have to compare every gene with Brooke's gene. And then ultimately, there will be found some of Brooke's genes that are not the same as the normal. And that will then be the home run. That's where the success will come.
As Dr. Walker attempted to unlock Brooke's unique genetic secret, parents Howard and Melanie focused on daily life with Brooke.
I just learned. It's been 16 years of on-the-job training, giving her medicines, knowing when she's sick, the right amount, how to clean everything, how to take care of all the medical supplies. You learn, you know. We just take each day as it is.
The key with Brooke is we don't know what tomorrow brings. With normal kids, you know they're going to wake up, they're going to go to school, they're going to run outside and play. I think that's the mystery of living with Brooke. Tomorrow, is she going to wake up?
The Greenbergs have not let fears for Brooke's health take over their lives. They try to keep daily life as normal as possible. Howard works for a food sales company.
I'm very fortunate that the company I work for is very educated about Brooke. If something does happen, and I do have to take off a couple days, there's never any questions asked. The importance of my job to keep my family going is like any other guy.
Hey, Bill. How you doing, Howard? I think you'll see with this burger, you're going to serve a much better hamburger.
For the Greenbergs' other three daughters, life has revolved around Brooke and her needs.
I think that I did have a fairly normal childhood. I'm also the oldest child, so I just kind of had to grow up a little bit faster than other kids my age because they didn't have like the responsibilities that I would have. I've learned how to give her medicines and all that kind of stuff, and I think I'm more aware to knowing like when she doesn't feel well, and I'm more alert for those kinds of things.
With no speech ability, Brooke relies on her family to interpret her moods and feelings.
When she's not happy, she starts crying like hysterically, or she bangs her head like she just did, or shakes her head no a lot and moves her hands. And she's happy when she giggles a lot.
Carly takes her off the school bus. She babysits with her. She changes her. She knows how to do everything, as do the other girls.
If Melanie and Howard want to go out, the girls stay home. They'll take turns and babysit if they don't have anyone else there.
Brooke will always need someone to care for her. She will never be a normal 16-year-old girl, but in small ways, like shopping for clothes, her family try to treat Brooke like a regular teenager.
She doesn't have that infant look. She lost her baby fat. We dress her like we dress in jean jacket, jeans, little tennis shoes.
We're going shopping, looking for Brookie to get some clothes.
I like to pick dresses and things that I know that she would like to wear, but things like that I would also think that is cute.
We'll see what they have.
The Greenbergs have shopped at this mall for years.
Hi, how are you?
Returning year after year with Brooke, they've faced curious shoppers.
People do ask, how old's your child? How old's your baby? Usually we say a couple years.
I'll just say 16 and leave it at that. Let them think it's months. Oh, what do you see, Brooke? What do you see? So cute.
I like this color better.
That one better? She was like the same poundage and the same height for years. Most people don't even weigh the same thing from one day to another, but Brooke was the same weight and the same height for years at a time.
Let's just pull some out and see what they look like here. So what do you think?
I think the 6 to 12 is better for the length.
Probably.
Yeah, that's cute.
I like the colors.
Yeah, I like those colors. This is adorable. Now this is very old looking. With mod pants, Brooke, you'd be really hip. I don't want her to look like a baby. That's not fair for her to look like a baby. Hey, she's a big girl. She should have big girl clothes. We're good to go. All right.
Brooke enjoys movement, whether in her pushchair or in the car. But at home, she always wanted Melanie to carry her around.
I took care of Brooke for 12 years, but, you know, Brooke loves to be held. Yeah. All she wants to do is be held. But it got to the point where I have neck problems from holding her for 12 years in a certain way.
Everybody said, isn't it nice to always have a perpetual baby? It's nice. It's nice for the first 3 or 4 years. I think what we wanted is for our baby to grow up.
The Greenberg's 16-year-old daughter, Brooke, suffers from a mysterious syndrome where she doesn't grow. But although she wasn't growing, her sisters were. As teenagers, they were playing sports, graduating from high school, and choosing colleges. Caitlin's choice was the University of Arizona, 2,000 miles away.
I was the normal teenager wanting to go far away as possible for college. I just wanted to experience something on my own. I just wanted to do my own thing for once. Sometimes when I'm walking around with her, I tell her things that I don't tell anybody else because I know she won't tell. Last semester when I was away, I would always call and see how Brooke was. I was really scared that something was going to happen while I wasn't there.
Fears about Brooke's health influenced Caitlin's decision to leave the University of Arizona and enroll at a college closer to home.
I'm majoring in political science with a minor in Judaic studies.
Her fears about her sister's health were well-founded. At the age of 5, Brooke faced her biggest medical crisis.
Nobody could wake her up. She just literally was sleeping.
She slept for 14 days. There was no coma. She slept. And then on the 14th day, they told us they found out while she was sleeping. She had some sort of mass on her brain that was putting her to sleep. And she had 48 hours to live, and then she would have slipped away.
I think we were in disbelief because many times they don't think Brooke's going to make it, and many times she does.
But this time they said
that they were 100%
go
sure.
Prepare yourself.
So this time we actually went through all the rites of getting the casket, getting the clothes, having the clergy come down, preparing the children.
Howard called us over and told us that Brooke had something and the doctors just wanted to give up on her.
It was a horrible, horrible, horrible weekend. I mean, I can't think of any other weekend that was so horrible that Melanie and I have lived through.
We all came up and said our goodbyes.
Horrific. No two ways about that. We thought we were going to bury our child.
With Brooke being so unique, doctors had no other cases to compare her to. They had no answers for Howard and Melanie. Brooke was asleep for 14 days, and they believed she would never wake up.
Monday night, we got a call from the hospital. They said Brooke had woke up. She's not sleeping any longer. We have no idea. We took her down for an MRI. She's normal. We're going to watch her for a day. Come get her.
You just knew that there was an excellent chance, no matter how sick she was, that somehow or other Brooke would find a way to make it through.
I could only think about, we're going to bring home, we're going to start all over, and life goes on. Lift up.
But every extended hospital stay that Brooke had was financially crippling for the Greenbergs.
If Brooke goes into the hospital, it's just like any other insurance. We're responsible for about 20%. But when your child goes into the hospital and the bill is extraordinary, 20% can be expensive. You know, we had to refinance the house. Times we put it on credit cards, then we took it off of credit cards and refinanced the house again, got a second mortgage, just like any other normal person would do if their child was in trouble.
But Brooke is not like any other child. Her condition is so unique that neither her parents nor medical experts have any idea what could happen next.
When she does get sick, she's either well or deathly sick. She needed somebody with a trained eye to know what procedure to do or what machine to use if she did get sick.
In 2005, Brooke was accepted onto Maryland's rare and expensive case management program, which offers medical support to sufferers of rare and chronic conditions. Brooke receives nursing care under the program because her Syndrome X has left her unable to walk or talk. This means she's susceptible to seizures and has to be fed daily by stomach dew.
This is Peptamen formula. It's like milk because she cannot swallow.
The support they get from having good nursing care is really critical. If they didn't have this, I don't think that Brooke would do nearly as well. And in addition, what you would do is wear the whole family down.
Having the nurses lets Melanie have more of a normal life. This way Melanie could do other things and spend time with the other girls, which is important.
Brookie has at her school a Teacher Appreciation Day on Tuesday, so we're going to make a cake today so that Brookie is well represented. We need to grease and light flour, 2 cups of flour. Harley and I usually bake about every other week. Somebody's always baking in the house. It's a good thing. We bond. This is our quality time together. Put that in. Okay, now we have to add the egg whites, beating well after each addition. That's the best part.
Brooke took the cake to Ridge Ruxton, a school for children with special educational needs that she's attended since she was 5.
I've been there and I observed on Grandparent Day how they teach the children. It's just phenomenal. I guess that's the word for it. She scoots around in that little chair. She can't wait to get out of that classroom. She goes down the hall. She's busy.
Today, Brooke has been given the task of class helper and is taking the register to the office, a task that includes using motor and social interaction skills.
How are you today, huh? Did you bring something down to the front office? Huh? I got a big shake there, yes.
Jewel Adile has taught Brooke for the last 2 years.
Today when we came back down the hall after all that long walk and all those changes, when we got back to the classroom, she veered right into her room.
And where are we now? Way to go. You know where to go.
Trying to find a way to give the children their voice. You got walkers and non-walkers, talkers and non-talkers. How can we kind of level the playing field so that we're all communicating?
Brookie brought us coconut cake.
Yes, thank you so much. It's coconut cake for Teachers Appreciation. You say we're your friends. We're glad we're your friends.
Brooke should be in 11th grade, but because of her health and educational needs, she's in a class of mixed age, where Mrs. Adile uses electronic sounders, shapes, and colours to enable Brooke to communicate.
Some things you place in front of her, she doesn't seem to push them away from her tabletop. You remove some things, you bring back some other things to see, okay, is she engaging in this? Is she interactive?
What do you like? Pick something. Which one? Bluebird? Hummingbird. A blue hummingbird for Brookie.
I love the school, and I love what they provide for her.
They have taught her a lot. It's just wonderful what they've done. These are pictures made by Brooke in school, okay? The teacher took her little thumb, and then they go all over. That's how they make the pictures. And she glues the little hearts on, and this is another little picture that she made that I cherish.
When you're here in school and it's 8:45 and you want to have a really good time.
Not only does Brooke participate in art classes, she also has regular music classes.
When you're here in school and it's 1:45 and you want to have a little fun, you play your bells. You play your bells.
After 11 years at Ridge Ruxton School, this year she celebrated her 16th birthday.
Her 16th birthday. We're so excited. You know, a typical teen will be getting a driver's license. I'm trying to think of things we could use, props we could use. And two of her sisters were here, and her mom was here, of course. I tell her, Mom, you brought her into the world, and I'm going to help bring the world to her.
I don't think in the beginning there were many people who thought that maybe she would even get up to be 16.
She's already passed most of the expectations that have been placed for her, so it's more realistic to just take one day as it is with her.
You don't have to be a rocket scientist to see that she is 16 and a half years old, she's 30 inches tall, and she's 16 pounds. And she looks like a 6.5 to 7-month-old baby. Do I feel that there could be some scientific answer that she holds? Yes, I do.
It is Dr. Richard Walker's career goal to unlock Brooke's genetic secrets. He has come to Baltimore to visit the Greenbergs.
Hey, there's the girl. Hi, Brooke.
Hello, girl.
How are you, Brooke? Good to see you again. How's she been doing now?
She's
Good?
doing fine.
She looks great.
She's doing good.
16 years old now. I guess I'm scaring you, huh? I haven't seen you enough. Well, maybe I better back off. It was funny that Brooke got so upset. I guess she hasn't seen me for a while.
She is like a teenager, a typical teenager. She likes her space. She likes to be independent. I mean, I can't come down sometimes. She gets mad if I'm infringing on her space. It's not you. Don't take it personally. It's
well,
just her. It's Brooke. She'll let you know when she's happy or when she doesn't like something.
Dr. Walker receives a warmer welcome from Howard, who has questions about Brooke's future.
A normal person would live to anywhere from 65 to 75. Is it possible that she could live well beyond that?
You know, I've said that Brooke is a very unique person. We have got really no history to go back to and say, well, has this happened before? How long has the person lived? We can only ask the question, does she have the potential to show us that developmental slowdown will extend life?
If Dr. Walker's research could find the gene that slows down aging, it would be a medical breakthrough.
If indeed I'm correct in the premise that aging is a degenerative process that's associated with an essential survival process that we can actually turn off eventually, then we might indeed have the key to longevity. I'm not talking here in any sensational way of saying that this is the fountain of youth, but in fact it could be that. It gives us the opportunity to understand the process of aging, and so it has boundless potential.
Sunday morning in the Baltimore home of the Greenbergs.
Usually Sunday is an off day. We make the girls breakfast, take them wherever they have to go, things of that nature. Kaylin, how many do you want? 1 or 2? Or you want a bagel? Is that what you want?
No, I don't want it on a bagel.
What do you want it on?
Plain.
On Saturday and Sunday it's a little bit different. The nurse usually doesn't show up till about 10, which is good because it gives us a little private time.
Brooke too enjoys her own private time in her swing. It's her favourite place.
She likes being in her swing.
Yeah, get yourself comfy.
The swing is not electronic, and she uses her own momentum to make it move.
You know when she's in a good mood, when she's in her swing, she's happy, she's laughing.
She likes to be independent. When she's in her room in her swing, she likes to be by herself.
That's how she communicates.
Brooke is in her room, and because it's raining out, it's not such a great day for her to go out, so she'll probably be downstairs all day. And getting ready for tomorrow, which starts school again. So it's her day off. So we like to think of it.
Brooke says that's not true.
No, she's saying no.
No? No.
A relaxed family Sunday turns into Monday, and the Greenbergs are back on schedule.
Good morning. Good morning, sunshine. How are you? The nurse is usually here by now, but it's bad weather outside, so she's probably held up. So I'm going to pick out Brooke's clothes and try to help the nurse before she gets here. I have 5 minutes before I leave, so.
You need some help?
Just going to get her dressed real fast before the nurse comes.
Okay.
With Angela, one of Brooke's nursing team, having arrived, Melanie can begin her day. She drives carpool 3 times a week and works part-time as a graphic designer for a travel company.
I go to work a couple days a week. Just have to learn the art of juggling, but it gets done. I enjoy driving Carly to school. I think I'll be sad when I don't have to take any of the kids to school. All right,
Bye,
girls.
Mom. Bye. Thank you.
All right, girls, have a great day. It's sad when I see children that were born the same year as Brooke, when I see where they're at in school and what they're doing with their life and their accomplishments, and then, and then I look and see where Brooke is at, and it hits home, and it's very sad.
She's a very lucky little girl that she's in a wonderful family, school, wonderful doctors. Everybody loves her. And when a lot of my friends know that I have a handicapped granddaughter, they'll say, oh. I say, no, it's not oh. She's here for a reason. She's a miracle child. No, it's not oh. No.
Brooke has survived against the odds, but has suffered numerous medical crises in her 16 years. Melanie is picking Brooke up from school to take her to see the paediatrician, one of a team of doctors who regularly monitor Brooke's health.
Just give it a big push. Hey, Boo-Boo. Hi. You ready to go see Dr. Pakula? We are on our way to see Dr. Pakula for our yearly checkup. The minute we get in the building, Brooke knows where we're going. She is very aware of the doctor's office. Some days she likes Dr. Pakula, some days she doesn't. We'll see what happens today.
Dr. Pakula has been Brooke's paediatrician since she was born.
Here's normal growth curves we use for girls, and here's her height way down here, way down at below the lowest for the weight. And her weight is actually off this chart. It's so low.
See, there's Dr. Pakula.
Good day. How are you? It just really sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to do anything. Oh, I know. She's really a very misleading young lady as far as how strong she is and how vigorously she can protest.
It's the roller coaster ride that we live with. And I think if something happened to Brooke tomorrow, we would be frantic. But I think somewhere back in my mind, I'm okay, she's going to be okay.
Went very well. We just checked everything, and everything's good. But as Brooke gets older, it seems to be getting better and better.
With Brooke facing fewer health crises, the Greenbergs have settled into a welcomed routine. College for Caitlin.
I have an 8 a.m. and then a 10 a.m. and then probably come back and go back to bed for a little bit.
School for Carly.
I like math, science, and art.
And school for Brooke,
And you will turn the page.
who is 16 years old and still only weighs 17 pounds.
And it did grow.
For Melanie and Howard, their routine includes work alongside family chores. They've accepted Brooke's uniqueness and adapted their lives to her needs.
I need tomatoes.
All right, let's get a tomato.
Big family celebrations like Mother's Day always take place at the Greenbergs' home.
It's like the center point, mostly because of Brooke.
Do we need any soda?
French fries. Yes, we do need soda.
Do we need French fries?
No.
When you take Brooke, you have to take the stroller, maybe the swing. Now we can leave her in her own element and everything's fine.
This way she's at home to help celebrate. That's why we have it at our house.
It's Mother's Day, and Howard and Melanie are preparing for their family gathering.
Family's always been important to me. That's part of who you are. It's your makeup. So it's very important for everyone to be together on a special day like this.
Making some trays so everybody can eat and have a good time.
I hope that we can continue the tradition that every year we celebrate Mother's Day together, just like I did with my mother and my grandmother.
Go ahead and start it.
For Brooke, it's a routine Sunday. Her nurse attaches her feeding tube before guests arrive.
I don't want to say for some strange reason, but for a very good reason, she takes to my mother-in-law. Just giggles and laughs. Haven't quite figured it out. What? The sad part about it is, as long as this takes me to do, when the people come, within 5 minutes, it's destroyed.
Hi. Oh, thank you. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
We always get together every Mother's Day, every Father's Day.
Everything is delicious.
We all pitch in and we all just have a great time.
My mother's walking around here like a movie star, and your mother's not even here.
Even though Melanie's mother has yet to arrive, Brooke has plenty of other family members to see.
Happy Mother's Day. Okay. Brooke's always included. Always.
Hi, Brookie baby.
She'll be right there with us. Everybody puts their hands out. They all want her.
Hi, sweetheart. Can you get any more fingers in your mouth?
Brooke enjoys the company of her extended family, but what will happen if she was to outlive her parents?
Brooke has 3 loving sisters. We've spoken to Caitlin and Emily. They would be honored to step in.
She's always going to be dependent on us to advocate for her and, to kind of make sure that she is being the healthiest that she could possibly be.
Emily's not here. She made this cake for Mother's Day.
It went fabulous. They came, they ate, and now it's time for them to go.
With Mother's Day celebrations winding down, Brooke returns to her routine, in her room, playing with Carly. The mutated gene which has caused her to be frozen in time could hold the key to anti-aging.
I have great confidence that we're going to find the problem gene, which will then set us up for the next stage. In terms of, let's say, science fiction aspect of this, we could silence these genes and theoretically create immortal beings. But let's step back from that for a second and let's talk about the practical aspects of this, the cancers and the heart diseases and the Alzheimer's disease. All of those have the potential to be made less severe as a result of our ability to change or maybe soften the onset of aging. So these are real possibilities from future study of this particular condition.
It's unlikely any of Dr. Walker's future research or discovery will help or change Brooke, but the Greenbergs are happy as they are.
If somebody knocked on the door right now and said, it's a guaranteed pill, give this to Brooke, she'll be fixed. Well, first I would say to him, she's not broken. And B, I would say, thank you, but no thank you.
She has a wonderful future. As long as she's here, that's Howard and our job, is to make sure that she has a wonderful future. And so far, we try to provide that for all of our kids.